DOJO is a new type of supercomputer that Tesla's artificial intelligence division has developed. Tesla has been talking about this project for the past few years, but as of right now, DOJO is online and it is growing in power at an incredible rate. It is expected to reach the top 5 most powerful computers in the world by early next year. DOJO is a far bigger issue than most people realize, and in June 2023, it's set to revolutionize Tesla. The first proof we've heard that DOJO is active and prepared for action came from Elon Musk's announcement that DOJO has been up and performing valuable duties at Tesla data centers for a few months. Elon's comments were supported by information from the new official Tesla AI Twitter account, which stated that DOJO's hardware will be ready for production in July 2023. This means that Tesla has already started stockpiling fully functional DOJO chips and building them out into larger systems of racks and cabinets as the supply continues to grow exponentially. According to Tesla AI, DOJO will progress from its current testing phase to become one of the top 5 most powerful supercomputers in the world by February 2024, with a computing capacity of over 30 exaflops. From there, the production rate for DOJO hardware will continue to ramp up in volume, bringing Tesla's total compute capacity to 100 exaflops in October 2024. Now, you might be wondering what the heck is an exaflop. Well, it's a way to measure how much work a computer can handle in 1 second. So 1 exaflop represents 1 quintillion computer operations per second. That is a 1 with 18 zeros behind it. It is an incomprehensible number on the human scale. So let's translate this into a metric that we all understand: money. These are not the kinds of chips that play video games. These N100s are used to create the most advanced software on Earth. Large AI models like ChatGPT and Mid-Journey image generator would not exist without the A100 chip, which has been the industry standard for a few years as the top-tier processing unit at the most powerful data centers in the world. And that in turn makes these GPUs incredibly valuable, average cost of around $10,000 per unit. So now we can take 100 exaflops, which is 300,000 A100s multiplied by $10,000, and you get $3 billion. That's what Tesla is creating with DOJO, a $3 billion supercomputer. And that's just where DOJO will be next October, according to the initial curve on Tesla's graph. It looks like they are projecting at least a 100 increase in capacity over a 1-year period. So that all sounds very exciting and cool, but just what is this DOJO thing actually going to do? Why does a car company need such a ridiculed powerful computer? There's a lot to unpack. Here, so just like with a real-world DOJO, this computer system is designed to function as a training ground, except instead of correct. Tesla's DOJO will train artificial intelligence. More specifically, this is the new home of Tesla's full self-driving neural network. So this is the point where we can start separating DOJO from the standard definition of a supercomputer. You see, DOJO is more correctly described as an artificial intelligence training cluster, but supercomputer is a much more familiar association for the average person. So we lead off with that to establish the fundamentals. These training clusters typically consist of enormous cabinets filled with GPUs that are all buzzing away, because the type of calculation required by neural net training makes good use of the graphics processors that we've all been using for years. As a result, manufacturers like Nvidia and AMD simply started producing these much larger and more potent variations of their existing designs, but DOJO is entering the fray with a completely new strategy. DOJO is a specialized hardware platform that Tesla's AI division built from the ground up for use in training their most recent computer vision, video-based full self-driving networks. The purpose of DOJO is to develop a digital replica of the human visual cortex and brain function, and use that to operate an autonomous vehicle. This requires processing enormous amounts of visual data, in this case video taken by the vehicle's cameras. The AI model needs to translate the data from billions of digital video frames into a language it can understand. This process is called labeling, and it simply entails giving a name to a group of pixels so the AI knows what it's looking at. The more labels the network can draw from, the more adept it will become at identifying patterns and associating them. In the past, Tesla has used humans to perform this labeling. Both philosophically and technically, Tesla's work with DOJO is remarkably similar to what Apple has been doing with their own computer systems. Apple discovered a long time ago that it was a really effective strategy to build software and hardware that are specifically designed to work together. This results in a more efficient and higher performing device. With their new M1 and M2 powered computers, they've replaced Intel processors. Dojo is fundamentally a system on a chip, or SoC, which is a complete computer built on a single silicon chip. This is the exact same design that Apple used to build the M1 processor. This approach enables an astounding level of efficiency because now, instead of having all these PCI ports, wires, motherboards, and other components connected together, every necessary component lies on a single small square of semiconductor material. The more power you need, the larger you make that piece of silicon, and the more processing cores you attach onto it. You can see that with Apple's M1 Pro and M1 Max chips. The M1 can't fit inside an iPad or MacBook, however. The Dojo chip is considerably smaller than a 100 GPU, approximately the size of your palm, but Dojo isn't meant to be a standalone device. When numerous processors are fused together to work as a single system, or at the tile level, Dojo truly starts to perform. Apple is also trying this with their new Mac Studio models. When two M1 Max chips are fused together to form their top-tier M1 Ultra chip, a Dojo tile-equipped computer with enormous processing capability is produced. Tesla has fused 25 Dojo chips to create one unified computer system, and each tile contains all of the necessary hardware for power, cooling, and data transfer. It's a self-sufficient computer in itself, made up from 25 smaller computers. Then going one level up, they integrate 6 tiles together into one single rack unit, and then to make one cabinet they integrate 2 of the racks into one case. The amazing thing about this system on a chip architecture is the level of efficiency that can be reached with such minimal need for power or cooling. So looking again to Apple, their Mac Studio with the M1 Ultra, or now M2 Ultra, these are the most powerful computers that you can buy. Yet they are housed in these minuscule square boxes that can easily sit on top of your desk. They take up very little space, and they only need a basic fan system for cooling. It's incredible really. Just the power supply alone on a traditional PC desktop would be half the size of one ultra-powered Mac Studio. Hopefully that gives you a more tangible idea of how Dojo is operating. The same thing that is going on inside your new MacBook is going on inside Dojo, just on a massive scale. So now what does this all mean? What does having this Dojo thing change for Tesla? Well, number one is obviously that they will be able to quickly add a large amount of computing power to their AI training program at a relatively low cost to the company. Obviously, any new product is going to have a very high overhead at the beginning of production, but the more Dojo chips and tiles that are produced, the more affordable they become. This also means that Tesla isn't going to the same marketplace and competing to buy the same NVIDIA chips as everyone else in their industry. As the power of AI continues to grow, so does the demand for A100 and H100 level processors. They're going to be difficult to acquire in large quantities. The price is going to reflect the demand. The new H100 GPU from NVIDIA is going at $40,000 per unit right now. And this inflated value placed on AI training power is something that Tesla could leverage in the future to create a whole new business model with their existing AI division. Dojo is not going to be very useful for anything else, according to Elon Musk, but future versions of the system will be more tailored to general-purpose AI training, so it could be adapted for language models or social media algorithms, or whatever else people can think of. This first version of Dojo is specifically tailored for Tesla's computer vision video labeling, which is exactly what they need for FSD, and later the humanoid Tesla bot. Elon envisions this operating exactly like a Microsoft Azure or an Amazon Web Service. There will be a stunning amount of demand for this service in the years to come, and Tesla will simply rent out their spare computing capacity for anyone who needs it. This type of business model is about as profitable as it gets. The reason Amazon can sell everything so cheaply and deliver it so quickly is because of their incredibly profitable web service division, which is financed by simply renting out the extra server capacity that they have available. When Amazon first launched web service, they only really needed their maximum server capacity for peak times like Black Friday. Once they had the notion to rent it out, the rest of the year was spent doing nothing. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up today if you liked it. It helps spread the word about our content to more people. Dojo can do the exact same thing for Tesla, and this is what we call a game changer.